great to have you on this today. You say this bill gets it right. Why?
I think that after what we saw in the 2016 election with Russian interference on Facebook, which is, of course, an American company, it was pretty clear that you need to take disinformation seriously, and it's best to think about it before it's already happening. So I think with respect to this bill, I understand the argument and the point that people have made that there has not been evidence of this really malicious manipulation by the Chinese government. But at the same time, I think that it's the right move to say that we shouldn't take any risks. We only have one shot to have the 2024 election, and I think that we should have it in the most secure way possible.
We heard from the CEO of TikTok earlier today, So Chu. He said that TikTok will do everything in its power to stop this draft bill becoming law, including exercising its legal rights, presumably under that First Amendment. I mean, how do you think they would go if they put up a legal challenge here, given that, of course, this bill is much more narrow than what we saw, for example, with the bill in the state of Montana?
Yeah, so I would personally agree with the position of the bill's authors, which is that this bill does not regulate the speech on the platform, but just who owns the platform. But I think I would be remiss to not mention the ACLU has taken the position that this is a First Amendment violation. I believe that Senator Rand Paul has said the same thing. So, you know, I think that while it is an argument that I personally disagree with, I'm sorry, I respect where it comes from.
Now, TikTok has also been framing this, you could say, quite differently from those proponents of the bill. They say that it is effectively a ban. And certainly when we look at the messaging coming out of Beijing in the past, it does sound like that Beijing may not let TikTok divest its US arm. So do you think that that is a legitimate concern from the company's side?
I think that you know it is honestly hard to say. I do not think I have good insights into how the Chinese government is specifically thinking about what to allow ByteDance to do or not. But from just my point of view, I think it's clear to me that the solution to this is going to either be a sale or a ban. The best position, I think, for ByteDance is to cut its losses and sell it off to a U.S. company like Oracle, which has been working with them to implement Project Texas.
Michael, can I ask you, what do you think is going to happen in the Senate? We've seen this passing the House, but still a big question mark now over whether or not Republicans are going to get on side here, particularly as both parties seek to court the youth vote ahead of the November election and President Trump's flip-flop on this issue.
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. And it's hard to say. I mean, it has passed through the House pretty overwhelmingly. It passed through the Energy and Commerce Committee unanimously. And it's coming with the support of the White House. But at the same time, you know, the purpose of the Senate is pretty much to slow down bills exactly like this, where, you know, the Democrats or Republicans may want to think twice about, you know, how younger voters may feel about this sort of thing. So, you know, I think the Senate's going to do what the Senate's going to do. We'll see where it goes.
Absolutely, and there's so many different angles on this. Of course, we're looking at the impact politically. We're looking at the impact on free speech in the United States, which is also a core tenet stateside, and at the same time, the impact on national security as well. But one angle we haven't covered off is ultimately what this is going to mean for the US-China relationship. We know it's in a pretty fragile state right now. It could perhaps be about to be getting a whole lot more fragile, particularly if we saw former President Trump returning to the White House. Explain to me what impact you expect this ruling over ByteDance and TikTok to have on the state of that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, and I mean, I think just the sheer fact that Donald Trump has come out in support of TikTok, which, from what we can gather, does not seem to be a principled position. It seems to be self-interested based on the fundraisers that he has relationships with. I mean, this is going to shape the way that the 2024 election plays out, and that's going to, of course, drive the way that the U.S.-China relationship plays out. So, you know, I think there are a lot of variables, and it's hard to say where any of them are going to land, but they're all interdependent.